15 what? Yeah. Yeah. Good. 4x squared. Done? Okay. So we could, a person could do addition, subtraction, or they could use a substitution method. We're going to stick with, when we see two non-linears, I want to go with addition, subtraction, always, okay? So in this case, I'm going to move stuff around. I'm going to bring everything over to one side because I find it easier for myself to have everything lined up so I can just add or subtract vertically. So I've got 15x squared minus y squared plus 1 equals 0. I don't know why I like everything on the left side, but I do. And then I'm just going to move this stuff here. I'm going to have 4x squared minus y equals 0, like so. Okay. Now, what do we got to caution ourselves on in this question specifically? The y squared and the y aren't the same, right? So we don't want to mess around there. So I'm going to try and get my numerical coefficients the same, obviously with the x squareds, not the y's, because they're not the same. It has to be with usually the squared values. So here I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 4. And this one here I'm going to multiply everything by 15. Try and get it to same number, right? So I get 60x squared minus 4y squared plus 4 equals 0. The other thing is to watch that you don't miss something when you multiply that in. Okay? And on the bottom we get 60x squared minus 15y equals 0. So for that, those two equations, am I going to add or subtract? Yeah, subtract, because 60x squared minus 60x squared will be gone. So I'm going to put this in brackets to remember that I got to put that minus throughout, eh? So the 60x squareds are gone. Negative 4y squared, there is no y squared in the second equation, so it just becomes negative 4y squared. There's no y's in the first one. Minus a minus 15, that's plus 15y. And then 4 minus nothing is just plus 4 equals 0. So again, here's one of those things where we can do what here, Cortland? I can factor it, or quadratic formula. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And we can solve for y. This one here is pretty easy trinomial difficult, isn't it? Right? It's negative 16 and 15. If we did that real quick just to see what our splitter is, negative 16 and 15. What works there? 16 and negative 1. So there's my splitter, right? What are we going to get? Negative 4y minus 1. And what do we get? Negative y minus 4? Or plus 4. Negative y plus 4. There's our two factors. When we go through it, I didn't show everything there, but if we trinomial that, or is it, let's see. No, this is going to be a, reverse these signs here, guys. A plus y and a minus 4. There. There we go. So our solutions there. Y equals negative a quarter. Good. And y equals 4. Again, I just substitute those values back up into any one of the originals. Which one do you want to go into? Yeah, why, Becca? Yeah, it just looks a little simpler. That's really why we automatically think to go in there. So let's try it. We'll just do it this way. If I plug a 4 in for y, right, I'm going to divide this 4 out. I'm going to be left with 1, right? So x squared equals 1. What do I got to do to it? Square root it. So I get x is plus or minus 1 and 4. There's one solution. And the other solution, when I plug in -1/4 right here for y. If I divide by 4, I'm going to be left with a negative number. I don't care what the number is. And we got to square root that. Is it going to work? No. So this -1/4 isn't even a solution. Okay? Good question. Good question. Any others on that? We'll do a graphing one.